Chris, how are you doing,
Hey,
man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Hey, champ, the champ, the reigning champ. You chose the best year to become a champion.
Because I know exactly why. Because you weren't there.
No, 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 because you're such a long champion. We are not racing, so your championship is just continuing.
Yeah, one and a half year and one and a half champion. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. So, how does it feel to be a champion?
I mean, it feels really good. So far for me, it was the first time I won an overall championship. So it was a great feeling for me. It was definitely something I wanted to accomplish in 2019, and yeah, it turned out good. So very happy with it.
And I experienced it, but a lot of people have never won this championship or became NASCAR champions in Europe. I think it's only you, Alan, me, and then Ander Villarino.
Yeah.
So tell us, how is it when you get to become a champion and you're invited in Charlotte for the prize giving? Tell us about that.
Yeah, I think that's like one of the coolest experiences, especially the fact that we as basically European NASCAR series, we are part of NASCAR, but to be able to go to America, to the States in front of more than 1,000 people, I think it's 1,200 people, Xfinity drivers, NASCAR presidents, vice presidents, really important people in NASCAR as well as drivers. So it's just a great opportunity, and it's a huge event. It's really like impressive to be there and then all of a sudden see your car in the NASCAR Hall of Fame. It's very cool.
Yeah, it's a multi-day event. You have the prize giving, but and then the days before that you have like dinners and stuff. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so basically when we initially came there, or when I initially came there, first thing was doing an interview. So basically for the awards, they basically tried to do a short 30-second clip where they have a short video of you. Then afterwards, we visited Hendrix Motorsport. So we went to, well, basically see their whole facility. I mean, just when you see already the whole operation that they have, it's yeah, you can only imagine that's what like a Formula One team is like, and it's definitely on the same level. So it's very impressive to see. And then of course there is the NASCAR Awards itself. First we have the dinner actually. That is for then the drivers of all the championships up to Xfinity. That the drivers, the champions, and the team managers all eat together. And then yeah, the last night basically is the NASCAR Awards. So definitely impressive to stand in front of all those people, receive the awards, have a short interview. We actually yeah, it changed up for this year, so it was a shame we couldn't do the speeches anymore. But
You were lucky. You were
yeah,
lucky because the
yeah,
speech is so difficult. I
so
remember when I had to do my speech, I was sitting there and there were other champions doing their
yeah,
speech, and I didn't hear anything because I was so nervous to do my
yeah,
speech.
yeah, yeah.
And then you guys had to do the interview, but yeah.
Well, the worst part was like up until the day itself, they like told me, "Oh yeah, like you're doing your speech," and then like I think it was the morning, or they texted me and they were like, I was like, "Yeah, when can I kind of go there to practice and kind of do my speech?" Because they told me about that, and they're like, "Oh no, this year we're not doing the speeches." I'm like, "What?" I was like, "What?" I was like, couldn't believe it, but in a way, it was a shame because I was really prepared for it, but it was also like a stress relief in a way.
Yeah, yeah, it's really stressful. For me, it was the most stressful thing in the year, more stressy than the races.
Right? Yeah, yeah,
So, tell
yeah.
us a bit about yourself. The Hezemans family back here in Europe, everybody knows them. It's a family with a lot of racing heritage. Your dad was a race driver, your older brother. Tell us about your dad. How did he come into racing, and what did he all do?
Yeah, so basically, my father got basically involved into racing again because of his father. So his father was did some international races, but mostly as an amateur driver. Not so many, but that I think is basically what kind of started the whole bug of it. And then my father went on to become a professional works driver for a lot of factory teams during the basically in late 60s until 1980. He was a works driver for Alfa Romeo, for Porsche, for Ford. I don't miss one out.
I think he finished.
BMW, yeah.
He finished in Daytona on the podium, right? Or did he win it?
Correct. Yeah. So for the 24 hours of Daytona, and I saw you can still see it in the museum. They won the 24 hours of Daytona in 1978 with a Porsche 935. And
That's the year I got born.
yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, really.
They still, I think they still hold the record for like biggest gap to second place. I think they won the race by something like 24 laps advantage. It was something crazy, and it just went to show like also how dominant of a car they had driving for Porsche back then.
Yeah, and then your father stepped into go-karting because your older brother, he was a go-kart driver, and he got the idea, let's just buy or create our own engine brand, Rotax,
Yeah,
right?
so my dad sometimes he definitely has this thing that he thinks like I can do things better, and for sure sometimes it has bit him in the butt, but definitely that time around it really worked out well. So it was basically Rotax, which is now worldwide known, and he worked together with Rotax Austria, who basically had homologated. To cut it short, they had homologated kind of as a fun project 100 engines, and nobody really knew about them. Everybody that did know about them knew they were like breaking down like after 10 minutes. So people were like, it's crap. So basically, he said, "Well, I see it gives more power," and he devoted the next 4 years to basically trial and error. So they would get pole position and then break down like 4 laps into the race. Until at one point, I think it was 88 or 89, they won the world championship. They finally got it to working. And then, that's basically when everything took off. So then I think they went on to win, if I'm right, 10 world championships or 10 European and world championships in a row. And they basically had the whole market pretty much for themselves. So it was really cool.
I think like 10 years ago, about all the Formula One drivers who were in there, like Schumacher, Jos Verstappen, they all raced on his engines, right?
Yeah. So it's funny, like still when there's, for example, an event, and I remember in Rotterdam there was Truly was there doing an event when he was still driving for Toyota, doing some demo runs, and the first thing, like he comes sprinting to my dad, and I see him talking. I'm like, Truly? He's like, yeah, of course. He's like, I knew them when they were like really young and begging for an engine, so it was pretty funny.
Yeah, and then after the history with karting, obviously your brother started racing in the GT championship.
Correct.
They did some GT1 with Lotus, and then he went with a very good teammate, right?
Yeah, Becht, Longin.
No, he went with me, man. We won no, we didn't win. We were vice world champion together in 2009, me and your brother. So the first time I raced with your brother, you were 5 years old.
No, I was 3.
You were 3. You're still a baby, man. You're still a baby.
Yeah, I'm still a baby. So it's funny. So I was 3 back then. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, right?
Yeah. And then how about that you came into NASCAR yourself? Because you did some other racing before, Clio Cup. You were pretty good in the TCR. I think you won some races on the International TCR Championship. Yeah. And then how about you entered into NASCAR?
Yeah, I mean, basically I was driving in 2018. I got the opportunity to do GT3 with Lamborghini, with Grasser. And it was 5 race deal, and one of the things was 5 races for the whole season. We were like, okay, let's try to find something where we can get also a bit more track time just to be in a car. And you were always actually the one that, like, I mean, we have had contact forever. So you were actually the one that was always like, try NASCAR. And yeah, I guess there's kind of this stigma from NASCAR that it's like, okay, it's this car that doesn't brake, that just is fast in the straight line and stuff like that. But I remember going to Franciacorta to the recruitment day. You were there too. And I remember after my first 4 laps in that car, I came into the pits and my dad said like, oh yeah, how is it? And I remember I said like, this is the most fun car, but like a mega mile that like I've driven. Like I love the car. It was just
yeah, I can imagine. I have the same, I race so many things, and then if I look back, I'm racing cars for 25 years, and then still NASCAR is the thing I love the most. So I can really appreciate that as well. So last year you won the European Championship. Obviously, you're back this year. You did some racing in US. What's the goals for the coming season? Will you be back in US?
Yeah, but well, basically the idea initially was to be back in the U.S. Racing, not full time, but definitely a certain amount of races back in Xfinity was the goal for this year. Sadly, due to obviously the current situation, it's not possible. So we have basically postponed those for 2021. But there's definitely some what looks like really positive stuff going to happen in 2021. Which normally should be around racing in Xfinity, and trying to basically build up my license.
Okay, cool. And if you look at your racing career in the NASCAR Wheel and Euro Series, you did 2 full seasons.
Mm-hmm.
What's the most memorable race that you have?
Most memorable race, I think in a way, Venray first, because it was really an intense race. It was really, I remember qualifying, I got edged out by Jacques Villeneuve by I think a few thousandths or something. And I remember so well that like my big goal that season, I didn't get a pole yet, but I had already won races. And I was really like quite frustrated that I didn't get a pole yet. And I was like, okay, I have to get a pole here at my home race. And then I just got edged out, and I was like furious before the race. So basically going to the race, I was like, okay, I have to win this race, especially in front of my crowd, basically. And it was a crazy race. I was second behind Jack the whole time. Everything was calm. And there were a few cautions. Then I was first. Then I was, I think, fourth. And then at one point when I was fourth, I was like, okay, maybe I get a podium, but it's not very realistic to win the race. And then in the end, everything just turned around, stayed consistent, and managed to win the race. So it was a really good feeling, especially in front of obviously a home crowd.
I was thinking you were gonna say Brands Hatch 218, or 217. When I passed you. You remember that one?
Yeah, I remember
bumping for a few laps.
I remember that you had trouble passing me when I was on 7 cylinders. Yes.
Oh, man, that's what everybody says. My engine wasn't running. Yeah, and so, but I remember I passed you. It took me so many laps. We were bumping all the time, and then when I passed you, I went off myself. So, no, man.
I remember so well. I was blocking for my life in turn 1, and at one point I was really like, nah, I blocked too much. I'm gonna go off. I remember, fair enough, it was my fault because I was blocking maybe a bit too much, but and you kind of let me go. So thank you for that.
I'm a nice guy. Yeah. Your dad, he's still in the paddock all the time. He was my team boss for many years. So how is he now? Did he calm down? Because Twan Hezemans, he always has crazy ideas. He always, he's the big boss, even if it's not his team.
Right.
It's still the same.
It's like compared to, let's say, when it was with Mike. It's when something will go wrong back then. I remember it was just like, okay, forget it. Like you might as well just leave the racetrack and forget about even trying to have a conversation. Now he will shout at me for about like a good day, and then at night it's possible to talk to him, let's say.
Yeah. But
it's still the same. It's still the same DNA that he had with Mike, and I mean, it is what it is. As long as you do a good job, he's gonna be happy. But he's also not gonna sugarcoat it. But if you do a bad job, he will make it really, really clear to you.
Yeah, but you have to tell your team because you are running for Hendricks. We are running our own team, PK Carsport. You have to tell your team boss. I think he will be watching now, Roy. Twan is always coming into my team for coffee, for cookies, for chocolate. So, Roy, please bring next season coffee. He likes good coffee. He wants to have chocolate and he wants to have cookies. So what I remember the most, your dad is a specialist in taking planes which you cannot get. Me and Mike, your brother, one day we had a race. We won in the FIA GT World Championship. We were really happy. We were standing on the podium, and after the podium, you have to do the interviews and everything. And while we were standing on the podium, there was one guy down at the podium shouting, "Guys, we have to go, we have to go, we have to catch the plane." So we didn't even were allowed to do the interviews. He just, "I pay the fine, I pay the fine, let's go." So is he still like that with his planning of his flights?
Oh yeah, like he the moment that the race is done, he's like, I want to get out. There's not even like I have had races where I think it was 2018. I don't remember where it was, Valencia or something. Like I changed in the car because like he was just like I came off the podium like drenched in champagne, and he was like with the rental car already ready, AC on. He was like, "Get in." He's like, "Change in the car. Your stuff is in the back." He's like, "Change."
Yeah,
So
and then you step draining champagne into the plane, and the people next to you sitting, they think, "Oh, that's a guy who drinks a lot, a lot. He has a problem. He has a drinking problem."
you get for sure strange looks, and he is like he's sweaty, and yeah, that didn't change now.
I have a gadget. I'm always gonna bring a gadget on these interviews. So I have a gadget, and it's standing there. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it, and you have to think what it is. I don't think you have such a big trophy. It's almost as big as me. So which trophy is this?
Is well FIA GT, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Is it okay? Is it a year that you and Mike drove?
No, we drove against each other
Oh,
after the
no,
finish
I know
line.
exactly. I know.
Yeah,
It's
so
Argentina, San Luis.
Argentina, the finals of the FIA GT 2008,
I
and we
remember.
were fighting for victory. Mike was with Corvette, I was with Salim. We
Yeah,
were fighting, and we were able to crash after the finish line.
yeah, I
So
remember. I remember exactly. It was like I think the wasn't it like the flag was really early on, and you couldn't really see it like so good in the car.
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah. So
remember Mike drove like backed into the. Or was it you in the car?
no, 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 no. Yeah, he drove into my teammate. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So I was not in the car at the moment. That was a really nice moment. Now
yeah,
we're still friends and business partners, me and your brother. But
yeah.
in those days or that day, we were not so friendly with each other.
No,
I have some fast questions for you. Really fast questions.
let me know.
Hamilton or Verstappen?
Verstappen.
Why?
I like his in the same way that some people don't like how aggressive he is. I do like that. I do like that fighting spirit. But I must say, I'm also a big Hamilton fan, so I do see in many ways a lot of resemblance in like their fighting spirit. That I must say.
Okay. So you have the choice between a race weekend or a romantic weekend with your girlfriend.
Race weekend anytime.
Your girlfriend is not home or she's not watching?
Right now, staring me down. So
Yeah,
I'm
but
looking.
that's why I'm doing this. I'm trying to get you into
Yeah,
trouble.
let me just
Formula One or NASCAR?
hide behind.
Formula One or NASCAR?
That's not even a question. You already know the answer. Of course, NASCAR.
Oh, that's what we want to hear. Then now it's a difficult one. Anthony Kumpen or Alan Day?
In what? In what?
You have to choose.
Well, Anthony Kump, because I know you like forever. So.
Okay, hey, now we will give you a tough time next season, or this season.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
American football or soccer?
What?
American football or soccer?
American football. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because I know why you chose that. Because Holland is really bad in soccer and Belgium is really good.
No, it has nothing to do with it. I actually played football when I was in high school.
Yeah, but you know, it's the Dutch people. You're from Holland, I'm from Belgium, and
Right?
the Dutch people always were laughing with Belgium in the soccer, and now we are way better, so that's why you chose it. Okay, tell us about the championship calendar this year. What's the calendar? Because it changed a lot due to the COVID situation. What's the calendar for the NASCAR Wheel and Euro Series this year?
So we start in Vallelunga, then we have Zolder, followed by is it Most, Hockenheim, and the final is in Valencia, right?
I don't think it was completely right, but I don't know by heart myself. But it's, at least you had the tracks right. You had the
Yeah,
tracks right.
exactly.
That's already good.
Oh,
So,
you
but
want it in order. Okay, next question.
Yeah, but I think we start off in Valencia. What date? Do you remember the date? It's in September, I think the 20th or around that.
We don't start off in Valencia. Valencia,
Vallelunga, sorry. You see, I don't know the calendar.
well,
No.
13, I think, is Valladunga.
Okay, and the finals we have in Valencia, and that's December 6th, if I'm right.
5th, 6th, I think. 5,
Yeah,
6.
yeah. Okay. Um,
We
the
might
recruit,
we might be completely off and just telling people nonsense, but
yeah, but the calendar they can find on the website.
check the calendar online. Don't listen to
Yeah. So, but and we go to Zolder, which is a bit your home race. It's my home race. It's oh no, they show the calendar. You see, we start off at 12 September. We start off at 12 September in Vallelunga. And then it's already Zolder, October 3rd, I see. Um, Recruitment program, you just briefly mentioned it. That's how you came into the championship. It's something really important for young drivers. You know, we want to get as many young drivers into the championship as we can. Tell us about the recruitment program. How does it work? What can you get with it?
Yeah, basically it's quite easy going. If a lot of people, let's say, even that have maybe driven in most, let's say, European racing, you are used to something that is so structured. It's like between this time and this second, you're gonna drive until this time and this second. And I remember we were coming, and they were like, "Oh yeah, just like drive." I mean, you can't drive infinite amount of laps, but it's kind of more like a little bit like, I guess, the same kind of like also what you have in the States, a little bit more laid back, and you can see that everybody is laughing. It's a bit less serious, but in the sense that when you get into the car, everything is really serious. But when you can be out of the car, you can joke around. It's not like it has to be really strict and everything. So yeah, it's a great way to, first of all, learn the car. You can compare yourself also, of course, with the other drivers. And I think it's what I always say to all the drivers that even are racing in other series, even GT3 or Formula cars. I say just give the car once a try, because I think people have, like I was saying earlier on, the stigma about the car and how it's going to drive. And then once I hear people actually testing the car, they're like, that is like one of the most fun cars I've driven. So, and the racing is even better. So
Yeah, for sure. No, and you meet with the guys like Jerome Galpin, who's a
yeah,
championship owner in Europe. So you meet a lot of people. If you do really well, you get some help in your budget and stuff like that. So it's a really good program.
yeah,
So I see we have some questions popping up, and John, who's directing everything for us, who's the NASCAR Wheel and Euro Series media director. He has been popping them up on many occasions for me. So there's one question: will there be a race in Zolder? I think we answered that, but it's on 3 and 4 October. So everybody from Holland, Belgium, or anywhere, 3 and 4 October, we will be racing in Zolder.
yeah.
There was also a question from A. Smith Racing, and he asked if you could add another venue to the calendar, which one would it be?
To the current calendar, I think it would definitely be Venray, because for me, there definitely should be at least one time an oval on the calendar. It's a shame, obviously, that we can't drive, but in many ways, it's already great that we can have still so many events and be able to do, let's say, a full championship. So hopefully in 2021, we can have Venray back on the calendar.
I want to have a street race with these cars. I want to have like Monaco, the NASCAR Grand Prix of Monaco or whatever, or Po, or they have Macau.
Definitely a street race, especially something where you can use quite a lot of curves, would be really cool, because these cars just look like just better when you use curves. Like you can just like go straight over them, and that's just fun.
Okay, then we have another question. Frank Tusveld, he asked, how do you like the oval racing and then compared to the road racing, and would you like to have more oval events into the calendar?
Oh, definitely. Like for me, like I told Jerome before, I said like, let's go to Lausitring, and he was like, that's way too dangerous for what the cars that we drive. I was like, okay, fine. But
Yeah,
like,
the really high speed ovals, with the bodywork that we have, It's
Yeah,
maybe, I did Daytona. I can tell you it was the first time I was really scared in a race car.
yeah,
At a certain point, due to the pit stop situation, I was all up front, and Joey Logano pushing me, and then I still have to learn a lot of these ovals. So the high speed ovals, yeah, it's very logical that they don't allow
no, of
if
course,
you
yeah,
don't have the experience. But it would be good. But the thing is, what we have in Europe, there's limited amount of ovals,
yeah.
which are safe enough. But for sure, I think the championship is growing every year. We will have more oval events in the future. That's for sure. Then next question: World of NASCAR Wheel and Euro Series.
Mhm.
Um, who from the Cup Series would you like to give like an entry into the championship for one race or for several races? If you have to choose a cup driver, who would you choose?
I think for sure it would be for me like what makes most sense is to have the most recent champion, so Kyle Busch. I think it would definitely be cool. I think also what's cool about him is that he is a driver that will drive in a truck, will drive an Xfinity car, will drive a Cup car, but also drive a Pro Late model. So I think he has so much experience, and then it would be I think amazing for just every driver in the Euro NASCAR just to see okay how does he perform in our cars compared to us on the same weekend. And
Yeah,
maybe not even on a road course, but maybe even on an oval. Just see, okay, maybe like he destroys us, but I always find like it's best to get a reference from like one of the best drivers.
yeah, but you know that he drove our cars. I did the setup for our cars in the Race of Champions in Miami a few years ago,
Okay.
and Kyle Busch was one of the contenders in the Race of Champions. So he already drove our cars. He
Oh,
drove the
nice.
NASCAR World Series car, so he knows the car. And we had an ex NASCAR Cup champion in our championship. Who did he win? No, I think he didn't win in our championship, right?
No, yes, so
Bobby Labonte, yeah?
Bobby won. Bobby won. Bobby no finished second in tours, or did he win tours? No, he
He
finished
was.
second.
I think he didn't win, but he did a good race.
I think yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Next question. That's from your fans, the Dutch NASCAR fans. It's a group. I see the stickers on your car, and they support you a lot. Uh, what do you think, Liam? You have a little brother as well. He's driving a go-kart race next week. What do you think? Will he come into the NASCAR Wheel and Euro Series in a short time or anytime in the future?
Yeah, I mean it's something really exciting. So basically, Liam is my little brother. He is 17 years old now, and he's been karting for the last few years, and really be doing good. World Championship karting and running in the front, so he's really performing very well. And yeah, definitely we are right now looking at okay, let's start to get him into a car. So I think maybe this year, I'm not sure how we're gonna do with the NASCAR, but I think if we're gonna put him in somewhere something similar, maybe first something that's a little bit slower, let's say, and then I think definitely afterwards go the path of the NASCAR Wheel and Euro Series for sure.
So then, when you're still there, and then Liam is there, who's your dad gonna cheer for?
Yeah, it's very simple. If my little brother is in the lead two, then he will cheer for both of us. If we're both against each other, he will cheer for whoever is fastest. So very simple.
I know your brother. If we would be contending against each other, your older brother, Mikey, would cheer for me because we are good friends.
Yeah, totally.
No, no. Another one. Also from your Dutch NASCAR fans. It's a group they have, and they ask, do you have a different preparation now that you're a champion, or is it exactly the same? Is the feeling different? What do you do different for this year?
No, I mean I basically go into every year. I don't. I definitely think this year I don't go in thinking, okay, I am the champion, and so I have a whole different attitude. I go in with the same attitude that everybody starts at zero, and the best way to try and win that championship is by doing the best job possible, winning as much, being as much as possible on the podium, being consistent. And basically, I'm going this year different into it. I'm just training even harder than last year, and physically training even harder because right now obviously we're quite limited to track time. Doing obviously sim work, but yeah, basically focusing on those things and trying to learn from my mistakes that I made last year.
Yeah, and talking about sim work, the NASCAR Wheel and Euro Series, like many other series, this year with the COVID situation and the season being postponed, they organized their own sim championship. You were one of the top guys in that championship as well. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean it was basically a great way to still give also the race fans something to view, also for sponsors being able to basically promote them. It was a lot of fun. I mean, there was definitely some good racing. The cars were definitely not always easy, but yeah, I mean, I was talking to my dad about it, and he was like, "Yeah, how is it?" I said, "Like, I've never had to train, or let's say, like, I never had so much track time in my life as much as I've had on simulators. Like, we were spending like 12 hours a week just training, especially in the beginning, to try and yeah be as consistent as possible. Because all of a sudden, tires don't cost anything. Basically, yeah, you can crash the car and it's fine. So." You just press
Yeah,
reset, so it's a little bit different.
yeah,
Uh,
you don't have a reset button in your race car, right?
no, no, definitely not.
Maybe your cadet can find something
Yeah,
for that. You know, he's always very creative. So
I will ask him. I think that
yeah.
will be a tough one, but I'll ask him.
And then another question from Andrea Wilkin. She asks, "How did you get into motorsport?" We handled that a bit, but it's a family thing, right?
Yeah, very much a family thing. The funny thing is that people always assume, okay, I did karting, but actually, I never did any karting. Pretty much, I did, I think, yeah, a bit of karting, maybe like 4 or 5 times a year, just randomly. But it was basically kind of I was focusing on something completely different before. I was in an English school, and basically I was playing American football. I was like, well, in pounds, I was like 25 pounds, 30 pounds heavier than now, and fully focused on that. And then my dad always knew that I had a passion for racing, but for whatever reason, when I was younger, he wasn't. Yeah, he just didn't have the time, I guess, for it. And then he was like, "Yeah, do you still want to?" It was kind of when my brother stopped, so I think the bug for him was kind of like coming back. And he was like, "Do you want to test a racing car?" And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Yeah, of course. Like this is my dream." And surprisingly, like the test went mega well. And basically, then and there, it was like he was like, "Okay, if you really want this, like we're gonna try to do this." So I completely switched around and basically focused my entire career on racing.
Yeah. He was too busy with me and your brother Mike, so that's why you could start only so late. So
I
he
remember
was 10 years my team manager. So
it's very true.
we have another question here. Evelyn, she's asking, I love the NASCAR and Belcar parades last year. Are they going to be more of those parades this year with the COVID situation? I think nobody knows. I think for sure if they allow us, NASCAR is all about the fans. The fans are the most important thing in NASCAR, and they want to give the fans the most attention and get them close into the racing scene. So the parades, but you can tell other things, how open it is, how the fans can get in. So it's also in US, eh?
Yeah, oh, definitely. I mean, uh, like like you were saying in the US, but also if you look at our races, when we go, for example, I mean every race pretty much, but Brands Hatch, I show people pictures of the pre-grid and they cannot believe it. Like you have a pre-grid and you cannot even see the cars anymore. And I remember I had to go 2018. It was I had to go to the bathroom, and I think it like the walk took me like 10 minutes to go there and like 12 minutes to get back to my car, and I was in fourth place. So it's pretty crazy. It's amazing for the fans. I think just to be so hands-on compared to a lot of other racing series where, yeah, there's no real connection anymore between the drivers and the spectators. So it's good that they do that. It's really good.
Yeah. And another question. Oh, it's about my son. When he will have his next from Sergio. He asked when he has his next go-kart race. Yeah, I don't know. It's with the COVID situation. It's postponed, but he will be soon in NASCAR and he will come and kick your ass. I think he's only 7,
It
so you.
it will be basically like you and me.
Yeah. Wait, man. I'm not done yet. Huh? Hey, you see, I still have two rings. Where's your ring? Show us your ring.
I won.
Hey, you have your ring?
I
You
have
don't?
it here. Yeah, yeah.
Where is it? You
Oh,
have to
wow.
show it, man.
I can get it. I'll get it. I'll get my ring.
No, no. Um,
Here we go.
then,
Yeah,
you know,
I still have my ring.
okay. Hey, but look at this, man. It's two, huh? It's two,
Yeah.
huh? So,
But like, I'm still young, you know. So there.
I feel young.
I feel it. That's good.
No, no, great. Now, obviously, NASCAR is all about the fans that we say, but we also have great sponsors into the championship because to produce a championship like this is not easy. As the NASCAR Wheel and Euro Series, Wheel and main sponsor, they do a lot for us. Then we also have General Tire. They developed a special new tire this year. Did you already test the new tire?
No, so we actually had our first test, but it was really mixed conditions. So we only did, I think, 8 laps on, or 10 laps maybe on the old tires, and then it started raining again, and we didn't have yet the new rain tire. So actually, it was more of a rollout in a way compared to a test. So no, sadly not. Did you guys?
Yeah, I can tell you. We tested the new tires, and it's the performance is a lot higher. So you will be impressed with the new tire. So yeah, it's good fun. It creates also new things. You have to find the new setups, and I think finally to settle it down, who will be your main competitors? Who do you think are the toughest guys that will
I
be there
think,
to
I
fight
think
for?
this year, like more than ever, there's definitely quite a lot of competitors. So obviously have of course Alan, but we also have some other people that are coming. So Stina's of course. So Alan and Stina's is for sure. I think also some new competitors that I think for sure will be very quick coming from Elite Two. One will be Lasse Sorensen. I mean, you saw how dominant he was last year. Also, my teammate Giorgio Maggi, or my ex-teammate rather. I always call him my teammate now, but yeah, it's my ex-teammate, but still drives in our team. I think he will also be for sure a very strong competitor. And I mean, then we got Gabillon. We got so many more drivers who.
I think Villeneuve will also be good.
I think exactly, very true. I think Villeneuve, Jacques will be very, very quick. I know that they have been testing a lot, so I think they will be very well prepared. And yeah, that is. I think it's gonna be, yeah, really an intense battle, basically. So
Yeah.
let's see. Let's try.
Yeah, you know, Nicolo is also back. He announced yesterday that he will
Oh, cool.
replace Villarino at the F1.
I saw him.
So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it will be a strong championship. So
I
and you
mean,
know,
you can name the list. I think we're gonna have like almost 10 drivers that can really win a race. So it's good for the race fans. I mean, it's good for us. We love the competition, or at least I love the competition. Like the more competition for me, the better I perform. So bring it on.
okay, man. Well, good luck. Thanks a lot for your time. You know, it's always nice to have the champion as the opener of this new show, and let's see each other on the racetrack in a few weeks.
Yeah, for sure we will. All right, Anthony. Thank you very much for having me.
See you. Bye bye.
See you. Bye bye. Take care.